This boy possesses an extremely superhuman ability to heal himself. One day the boy climbed a tree branch to get a bird's nest, and fell to the ground when a crow was flying. But the boy's body automatically recovered extremely quickly, so he was called a monster by his friends, which made him very heartbroken. As time passed, this boy also became an adult. Once, while walking, Ha Jongsu is blocked by a bear head. Then he was strangled and escorted to a room. A man starts stealing all the organs in Jongsu's body to provide for that group of bad people. But when this man went to answer the phone, Jongsu's body begins its own healing process again. The boy got off the bed and proceeded to restore one of his eyes to the same position. The other man starts screaming, causing Jongsu to panic, and dropped his second eye to the ground. Later, Jongsu also jumped outside to escape. Since then, Jongsu has had to live with the status of a single-eyed. One day when I was sitting alone hugging the guitar, Jongsu felt a sharp pain in one of his eyes. The boy covered one of his still normal eyes with his hand. Then I saw a circle of astrological birds appearing on a computer, along with a lot of solid stuff and a distant house. Then he saw a drop of tears falling from his eyes. Jongsu now thinks to himself, is it possible that one of his eyes has been transplanted to someone else? At that time, I should have found my eyes again. That morning on a street, people were gathering to enjoy a beautiful art statue placed in the middle of the street. But after a while, there was a lot of blood flowing from this statue. The police began to come to examine the statue, and Jongsu was also present in the crowd of the people here. The forensic team proceeded to dissect the plastic covered with this body, and seeing it be like a K engraved on this art. Jongsu is now working at an old junkyard. Then he saw his boss being bullied by 3 thugs for accidentally pushing the car and touching them, and being asked by the 3 of them to pay compensation. Jongsu immediately appears to rescue his boss. The 3 thugs start attacking and hitting Jongsu's body repeatedly. One of them uses a knife to stab Jongsu's body, but the boy doesn't dodge at all. An ear falls off, causing Jongsu's blindfold to come off. The 3 thugs immediately called Jongsu a monster and ran away. The boy immediately burst into tears because of the hurt when he was a child. After that, Jongsu's ear also recovered to its original position. The 3 thugs ran away and discussed the strange one-eyed man. A tall man walked by and began to use force to approach them. The elder who had captured Jongsu began to order his juniors to track down his prey that had been attacked last time. The long-haired man expressed his regret for the leader of the gang because the old man left the other one-eyed name. If we have a name with an immortal body, we will be very rich. The leader also refers to Jongsu as the legendary cornet. At this time, there was a girl who could also hear the content of this conversation through an eavesdropping device. Jongsu was walking down the street when he heard a street artist performing a song he had composed. When the boy came to ask, this street singer said, I remixed a song that was available online because the quality of the original song was not very good. Now the guy who was using one of Jongsu's eyes was also playing this song to listen to. At this time, Jongsu's right eye also ached and he saw an eye in the mirror. After that, the young man also turned off the music. Jongsu returns to the place where he was operated on to regain his eye. Then I saw that the barehead man who had caught my corner was in this place. After that, the guy was chased by them and the mysterious girl also chased behind. Jongsu is blocked by barehead men in a small cleft. And being punched by these guys repeatedly, Jongsu used all means to resist and escaped. When he just passed an operating train line. Then the boy is dragged somewhere. The mysterious girl leads Jongsu away and shows the boy a way to escape. Jongsu ran up to a dead end, only to see the girl appear behind him. The girl stabbed Jongsu in the leg with a knife, and then witnessed the guy's self-healing process. When she noticed that the boys were running, the girl threw the boy to the ground mercilessly, but Jongsu managed to escape shortly afterwards. The next morning, employee Jiang Heezan sat on the bus to work and played a piece of music that one of her favorite artists had introduced to listen. When he came to the company to work, a statue of the murderer who caused a stir in public opinion recently appeared again. And the police also found AB engraved on this statue, and then while walking with the head of the department Oh Jin-suk, Heezan hummed the verses of the new song in the morning, causing one of the room manager's eyes to ache. Now, Jongsu also sees the image of this girl and a giant statue next to it. Jongsu recalled that when he was sitting in a garbage collection truck, he had passed by this statue. A young police officer showed 2 senior police officers' comments on social media in various languages, expressing recognition of the perpetrator's talent, including looking forward to his next works, including Vietnamese. In this song, Jongsu sees hand-drawn drawings on the papers and even the signatures that have been engraved on the artwork that has been found. Jongsu went online to review the statues in the shocking case and realized that the person who took his eye was a murderer. At this time, Uncle Tan Cha Choi and his colleagues saw the appearance of a one-eyed man in the places where the statue was found, so they immediately put him as the main suspect. The next day, Jongsu also went to the place where the big statue was to shout as he opened the blindfold. Then the girl that Jongsu had seen through his lost eye was passing by. The colleague immediately pulled Hyson away because she was frightened by Jongsu's appearance. When they saw this strange guy following them, the two ran even faster. Jongsu tries to ask about the man who was standing with Hyson in this place, but the two leave to avoid the strange young man. Both of these girls go to the restaurant and tell their colleague about the one-eyed name that tried to approach Hyson. Later, they saw that the head of the department, Jin Suk, was sitting alone, so the three of them also came to have a meal with the same manager. Now that Jongsu's music is played by the restaurant, both boys have eye pain and Jongsu can see a restaurant selling beef stew. With the girl who was sitting across from him earlier, Jongsu ran to find the stewed beef soup restaurant and continued to see the name of this restaurant. The head of the department, Jin Suk, heard that the employee kept pairing him and the employee Hyson, so he was annoyed and looked for an excuse to leave first. Jongsu walks into the restaurant and bumps into him, and the employee Jisung notices that the blindfolded man is still following Hyson to this place and is very frightened. Jongsu walked over and looked at the employee for a while when he grabbed him by the collar. Jongsu gently told me to come here to find the man sitting across from this girl, but the employee chased Jongsu away and threatened to call the police immediately. At this time, singer Zed is also covering Jongsu's song because, according to the reply below the comment section. Then the guy who posted this song announced that his composition is copyright-free and will be used freely. Jongsu went home and went online to see the results of the investigation of the other corpse's case when he saw a circle of fairies. So I immediately remembered that I had seen that circle appear in front of the perpetrator. Jongsu immediately went to an ornithologist to get an answer about the circle of birds. The boy immediately asked about the bee symbol that appeared in the circle. The fortune teller said that it was a symbol of Pluto. The boy immediately asked about the 2 days that 2 murders had occurred. Then the fortune teller said that it was both 2 days when Pluto and Venus coincided. This can be seen as a combination of quality and art, and the next coincident date is December 20th and December 25th. It then ended on January 6th. Jin Suk was sitting down to create more works that would be released in the future when he heard the sound of the door. When she walked out, she saw Hysun standing in front of her door. Although the head of the department showed a rather cold attitude, the girl still asked to go into the house. When Hysun praises the house for being so clean, Jin Suk asks if she wants to be cleaned like that. Then the girl went to the toilet and unbuttoned her shirt to prepare to offer it to the head of the room of her dreams. And this couple also experienced very bloody moments together. After dedicating her whole body to the head of the room, Hysun began to observe this clean room. And entering Jinsuk's office, the girl saw the drawings full of bizarre and bloody drawings on them. Hysun sees it and starts to tremble. The fortune teller came to the station and told the police about the explanation of the date of the interplanetary convergence with the very handsome but blindfolded young man. The police also showed a picture for this fortune teller to identify. Later, the police also saw the image of the suspicious blindfold through the camera in front of the fortune teller's shop. The next day, an old man chased his dog to a meadow. Then he found an art statue in the middle of the joint and a wheelchair underneath. As I looked through the news about the 4th art killing that had been found, I remembered that I had seen this painting at the house of the head of the Jinsu department last night. Now, Jongsu is also present at the scene where this statue appeared. The Bearhead group from the organ trafficking gang also appears here and sees Jongsu. So the boy quickly ran away. The police also recognized the appearance of the suspect who covered one eye, so they also chased after him. Jongsu runs into a tunnel, and the group also chases after the iron button behind. The boy jumps down a flight of stairs to escape from the leader, but is grabbed by another Bearhead. Jongsu immediately fights and knocks this guy down, but the leader uses a kite to separate his arm. And he also saw with his own eyes the miraculous process of Jongsu's body healing itself. He immediately called the boy a focuser. Suddenly this guy was knocked down by the hidden girl with an electric shock device. The girl asks Jongsu to eliminate these 2 guys to keep the secret. But Jongsu shows no evil. Police now grab a Bearhead in the gang. But the young man couldn't catch up with the one-eyed suspect. The hidden girl leads Jiangsu away and informs the boy that he is a pile of money to them. The girl takes Jiangsu's phone to exchange phone numbers and introduces herself as Choi Jijong. But Jiangsu just left alone. Hee-san goes up to the company and asks her junior colleague to do her a favor. Hee-san then comes to meet and asks to talk privately to the head of the department, Jisuk. The girl led him to the upper house of the building and told, "Last night I saw your sketchbook and saw some pictures that looked like art corpses." Jisuk explained that he saw it online and just drew it again. But Hee-san asked about the case that had just been discovered this morning, and she had seen it on the last page last night. Jisuk also took off his mask and said that she had seen it all. The fiancé is also nearby to protect Hee-san. But the phone rings. Hee-san also announced that this man was the one who confirmed it. Jisuk immediately matched his clothes and hit Hee-san unconscious. Then he attacked the young man, and then cornered him on the brink of the commoners. Now Hee-san's phone rings and plays Rong-su's song. So the boy could see the confirmed man fighting with a guy on the upper deck of this building. Hee-san wakes up and sees the bridegroom falling to the ground. Jisuk also stopped Hee-san from taking the phone. Rong-su also saw this girl crying bitterly. Hee-san begged and promised to do everything Jisuk asked. But this guy still coldly ended the girl he had just hugged last night. When Hee-san's phone stopped vibrating, Jisuk's eyes no longer hurt. So he also guessed that it was this song that made his eyes ache. On the ground, Jisung also didn't understand what Rong-su was going through. The guy looked up the floor number of the company where the perpetrator was working. And breaking inside while the building was in chaos. The colleague ran up to the top and was terrified when she saw Hee-san's body. The Jin slumped down the stairs. Rong-su went up to the company and saw a guy holding a coat that looked a lot like the perpetrator's. He was walking, so he immediately followed him to the toilet. And convicted an employee who was present at this place. Then asked about the jacket used to commit the crime. This employee was angry, so he also went out. Rong-su slammed the door of a single closed toilet cubicle. When he just peeked out the head through the opening above. Then he was stabbed in the hand with a sharp object by the Jin. Now the security guard of the building also crawled in and used a drawstring to handcuff the Rong-su. The boy saw the black shoes in the toilet that looked exactly like the perpetrator. So he immediately picked them up. The name Jean Soup also witnessed Rong-su's ability to heal itself. After that, the boy was also dragged out. When the line clerk saw Rong-su, she grabbed him and confirmed that he had made a deal with Hee-san. They all panicked when they saw Rong-su's other eye. Ji-sup also left smoothly. After that, the security guard put on the blindfold for Rong-su and prepared to hand it over to the police. But suddenly, each person received an electric shock from an employee. The girl immediately compressed the electric stimulator for Rong-su so that the boy could handle the rest. Then Rong-su and the girl Ji-jong escaped. The two police officers began to review the camera of the break-in process of the man with one eye closed. But the time doesn't coincide with the time when Hee-san and Mung-hun were killed. Because when he broke in, Mung-hun had already fallen to the ground. After that, he continued to watch the process of the strange girl breaking in a few minutes later. She used force to obtain the ID card of an employee in the building. After a while, the two police officers also went to the head of the JISP department to investigate, and asked him if he was wearing a jacket to work this morning. It seemed that the blindfolded man was saying that he was looking for some kind of coat. At this time, the Jisung employee appears and asks the police to take care of the culprit. Don't investigate innocent people. But the JISP was not very satisfied with this employee's military support. He walked out and told the park police officer, "That department head is narcissistic." He gritted when he saw the other employee even though she was helping him. He was agitated by the sight of the employee's unique shoe. Song-soo leads Jisung to where he is and asks about the girl's true identity. Jisung introduces himself as a novelist and wants to write about the legendary cornet. When I was a child, I was about to be hit by a car on the road when a child replaced me as the one who was hit. But that baby was a cornet, and its body had healed as usual in the blink of an eye, just like he was now. But the baby disappeared before I had a chance to say thank you. Suddenly one day I heard a legend about a body that could be immortal, so I went to find out. The organ dealers posted an article asking about the legend of the cornet. I left a comment and went to see them, and I had modified the eavesdropping device in their office so I knew of his existence. It seems that those guys are related to the Zongdo pharmaceutical company. Do you want to investigate with me? Song-soo said that his priority now was to catch the corpses en masse. The boy also told the process of being kidnapped by the other guys and losing one eye. At the moment, the person who caused these cases has taken my eye. Jirong immediately opens Songsu's blindfold and wears the boy a pair of black glasses to avoid being wanted by the police. The two went to the convenience store and saw a wanted paper for Songsu being pasted on it. The boy hurriedly went out, but his right eye hurt again. At this time, Jin-suk is also playing the song to check if his suspicion is correct. Could this guitarist be the one who missed one eye? When he stopped the song, his eyes no longer hurt. Songsu also learns that his eyes are reacting to his song. Jirong also told him that he could reveal the secret of his body to ruin his life in this society. Leave the investigation to me for the time being. Songsu is helping the old owner of the junkyard to work when he listens to the radio broadcasting a newly released song by artist Z, and introducing it as a cover of a song by an artist nicknamed Guitar Man Alone. Immediately, Ji-sup went to Mr. Z to buy this music for his company's upcoming advertisement, and asked about the person who composed this song, but the artist said that he had not met him once. Police began questioning the barehead man who was arrested as he chased the suspect who was blindfolded. But he said, "I was just jogging to lose belly fat." Later, the police also released him because his detention period had expired and there was no evidence. The long-haired man called a junior named Eugene to ask for a close surveillance of the office worker whose eyes had been implanted. Ji heard that this guy was planning to get back the magic eye that had been implanted. After all, that office worker was about to die. The long-haired man discovered that his hamster had disappeared, so he immediately searched every corner to search and see an eavesdropping device. He smashed it and realized that it was the little novelist who had done this. He smashed it and realized that it was the little novelist who had done this. He said that the computer battery was dead, so he wanted to plug it in thanks to the power outlet. Beware, it knows more about difficult species than we do. Now, he also walked out and didn't need glasses to pretend to be an intellectual. The girl who followed Eugene had just talked on the phone with the long-haired man. He was also standing in front of the building where the Yi-sup was staying. The Yi-sup now also suppressed the pain of the person to study the work he planned to do next. After that, he collapsed because it was too painful. Ji said that he also told Songsu. The other culprit seemed to be sick and didn't live long. At this time, the boy's right eye hurt again. The Yi-sup showed Songsu the drawing he had drawn with the message. "I'm gonna look for you this time, so wait." He also introduced the work he will do next. At an elementary school, and he also signed his name on it. Songsu was walking on the street when he met the street singer last time. This guy asks Songsu to enjoy the new guitar track, which I made based on the cover of Parliamentarian Z. Later, while listening to music, Songsu's eyes ached again, and it turned out that the Yi-sup was sitting in a nearby car. The boy immediately ran after this perpetrator but was stopped by the police. After that, he was also arrested by the police. Mr. Tan Cha-choi walked out and invited Songsu to the station. And it was a trap that the Yi-sup had mistakenly pulled out so that the Songsu could be caught by the police. He came to find and hit the doctor with a shot, and asked him to answer about his transplanted eye. He caught the vague doctor and asked him to explain. Where did he get his eye transplanted for him? But he said he only had surgery and didn't know anything. When the leader of the gang led the juniors to this place. Then the Yi-sup was controlling the fake man who was chipping in the warehouse. He took the doctor back to his base and asked this old man, "Did you send someone to watch me after the surgery? After all, what was so special about this eye that made him and them do it?" The doctor said it might be a focal point. 2 months ago you brought your injured body to ask me to save you. Because he didn't want to be asked by the hospital. Because he promised to pay me a lot of money, I agreed. But he warned me not to take anything from his body after the anesthesia. Because there are cancer cells everywhere. The doctor said that the man ran away that day and lost one eye. And all his incisions had healed in the imitation. The pharmaceutical company in the city has discovered an incredible thing related to biographs, and call it the focus store. Some people even say that this invention is related to the punishment of immortals. Isn't this good news for patients with terminal cancer? When he finished listening to this doctor's story, then the Jinxu also coldly finished off this old man and smiled with satisfaction. The police used force to interrogate and affirm. Rong Coin is the perpetrator of the murder because he always appears where the murder occurred. But Rong Su said I had the ability to see two things at the same time. But it was only when my eyes were throbbing that I could see. Noticing that his colleague was too aggressive, the inspector immediately signaled him to go out and use a softer attitude to interrogate Rong-su. The inspector told me to believe what he said and asked the guy to tell me about the special pictures. During the times his right eye ached, Rong-su immediately told about the next case that the perpetrator would take action. These are girls who are in elementary school. I saw that draft drawing. I also saw the symbol of the king's own star in one corner of the picture. The inspector also said that he did not believe that the coin fraud was the perpetrator, and asked the guy to tell me why he was able to see those images. Rong-su was embarrassed because there were many people outside, so the inspector decided to lead Rong-su to the people to talk to each other comfortably. The boy also used all his strength to get his arm out of the number 8 cage and show the inspector his ability to heal himself. I recently found out that they call my body a cornet. Now whatever the criminal sees, I see it. At this time, the inspector received a phone call from a colleague informing him that Penny Hawk hasn't even registered his fingerprints, so he has not even been legally recognized in this world. Rong-su realized that this inspector had deceived him, and he didn't believe he could see the perpetrator and what he was going to do. So the boy continued to get out of the other handlock, and felt regret when he believed an inspector. The policeman immediately shot the sky to suppress, but the coin dragon still confidently jumped down, and the boy's self-healing ability also began to work. After that, the boy also escaped from the police office, and the young man couldn't catch up with this guy. At this time, Di Rang also tried to call the coin but could not be contacted. Then she accidentally broke her bleeding hand. But when Di Rang left, the drops of blood also began to move. The elder Mr. Kim ordered all the juniors to find out who had dragged the fake old man away. Then he received a phone call from Wu Jin informing him Wu Jin has not been home since yesterday. So the big man immediately ordered the junior to break into his house to search. Di Rang was following this Wu Jin when he received a phone call from Rong-su. The girl continued to follow him, but this guy disappeared. Suddenly, he grabbed a knife and attacked Di Rang from behind. She also resisted and managed to fall down with this guy. Rong-su threw a petrol bomb inside the elementary school. Then I took the initiative to call the police to inform them that I would burn all the elementary schools in the city. If any child walks out, they will not be able to come back. Later, news of a terrorist threatening to attack elementary schools also made the news. The Jin looked at the news and knew that the guitar man was playing a game to stop his plan. Now, Rong-su discovered that artist Z was leaving comments praising the song he composed. When Rong-su told him that he was the best artist, musician Z expressed his desire to perform with the single guitar man of this song. When the coin was still overjoyed, one of the boy's eyes suddenly ached. The Gene Scoop wrote the words so that Rong-su could read it and left his phone number for Rong-su to call him back. Immediately, the Jin also received a phone call from Rong-su. He immediately announced that it was too late for you to stop me. Because everything has moved to a new stage, let's find out for ourselves. The next morning, the body of the Scoop Gene was also seen by a resident under a dam. Rong-su went home and informed Z that, they know I'm a character, so you're going to be in danger too. After that, she led Rong-su into an abandoned theater to hide from the gangsters and the police. She now also decided to reveal her truth to Rong-su. Z said that ask for a coin to use a knife to slap yourself. And the wound also began to heal quickly. And Z is also a coin-like feature. They'll tell you everything about me after you get your eyes back. When the coin vendor asks Z that there is no need to fry personal tape anymore. Then the girl said that this is something that helps people not know that I am a focuser. It was like a talisman for me, but maybe I don't need it anymore. Rong-su is also very happy that he has now found someone like him. Z said that he used a knife to make a line on his hand, and also on the hand of the coin dragon. After that, let the two hands cross and knit the lotus together. Next, give each other a kiss. Mr. Z is now having fun at a nightclub. Then while going down to the parking lot with a girl. Then he was hit by a Jin Soo and lay unconscious. He continued to strike at the woman who was accompanying him. He wore an eye patch and claimed that the motive for this was that artist Z had stolen his song. Then drag artist Z away. Rong-su was sleeping with Due Jiang when his eyes suddenly ached. Then he saw that the perpetrator had torn up the draft of the work he was going to make. And in front of him was artist Z, who was tied up in a wheelchair. And he is also forcing this artist to silently memorize the verses in the song that Rong-su has composed. He wrote it down on his phone and asked Rong-su to come here alone. If you don't want this man to be your next work, After that, he was also aggressive with this artist. The two young buffaloes once cut off a piece of meat from the dragonfly, led two barehead men from the internal trafficking gang to the junkyard. After that, the two of them began to use force against the owner of this scrap yard. At this time, when Rong-su and Dui-jong were in the abandoned theater. Then I saw the barehead men appearing in this place through the camera. Soon after, Rong-su received a video showing the old man at the junkyard. He was tied up by the barehead man and asked for a coin to come in 15 minutes. Wei-jong immediately pointed out the exit for Rong-shui so that he could go out. They'll take care of things here. When the coin hawk had left, the bareheads also entered. Wei-jong also confidently appeared in front of them with a small electric stimulator in his hand. She knocked down one of them and ran away, but was stopped by the leader. Rong-su ran to the junkyard and found his boss tied up on the ground. The two bears began to attack and also knocked the boy down. They used chains to tie up the coins. The tall man immediately ordered his juniors to deal with him right away. Rong-su tried to attack the tall man with great force. After a while, he was able to defeat the junior. Rong-su opened the door and forcefully used it to break the chain that was binding him. And the wound on the boy's hand also healed quickly. The boy used a pair door and knocked down the tall man with force. But he was called a monster by the owner of the junkyard. This made the old pain of the coin dragon reappear, so he was sneaked up by the tall man from behind. But he continued to be beaten down by the wrath of the dragon coin. In the end, the boy decided not to finish him off. The bear's head now knows that all of their activities are being monitored by this novel child. When Di-jong announced that your Wu-in Jr.'s name had been piled up, then the barehead man immediately gave the girl a hammer. But Di-jong announced that the other Wu-in was killed by Ou-in. At this time, the wound on Di-jong's face also began to heal. The long-haired man was very happy to have found another nickname. Di-jong immediately attacked and fought with the rest of the disciples. After that, he also escaped. The long-haired man did not allow the junior to chase, because you have to use that little one as a bait to catch all the other names. Rong-su opened up to the owner of the junkyard and apologized for causing these things. The boy also wanted to drive a truck to take the old man to the hospital. But this old man asked me to go and I will clean up this place, don't get hurt or arrested. Rong-su also nodded his head to thank the old man, just like how the young Rong-su boy came here and was called by the old man when he was a child. When Rong-su went out, Di-jong was also present in this place. The boy blamed himself for causing the old man at the junkyard to be infected and artist Z was also implicated. But Di-jong praised Rong-su for being willing to become a terrorist to save the children. The one who did the wrong thing was not him, but the one who took his eye. Humans can be scared and call us monsters, even trying to steal our bodies. He may feel miserable because of his abilities and live in seclusion. But I was different. After knowing that I belonged to the Onyx race, I began to learn and became more and more aware of how extraordinary my body was. If this world does not accept us, then we must conquer and dominate it. Since we are a race that loves Vietnam, what can we do when we say that there are only two of us? Then Di-jong said that he would meet other people soon, and suddenly Rong-zus right I heard again. At this time, Jin-su was being rejected due to the outbreak of cancer. Han wrote on the glass asking Rong-su to come to see him at 11 o'clock tonight. So the guy also announced that he would go to save Artist Z and get his right eye back. But Di-jong told me that I had other things to do, so I couldn't go with him. And the night before, this migrant girl fought and was the one who defeated the gang's junior Wu-jin. The police began to examine the scene where the dam found Wu-jin's body, and found a camera underneath a stream of water. The police began to recover the data in this camera. Then it was discovered that this Wu-jin had been following the head of the department Jin-su in every move. The Northern Police also reported that there was an anonymous call announcing that Artist Z had been kidnapped. This person said that before he could see the perpetrator's face, he had already fainted. But he said he did this because he had stolen some song. Police began to look at security cameras at nightclubs. The Northern Police officer confirmed that the perpetrator was Ha Jong-soo because he was wearing a blindfold. But the dazzling inspector insists that Wu-jin himself has disguised himself to want to put all the blame on Jong-soo's head. Jong-soo goes to the rendezvous point to meet Jin-soo. Then a car comes by and plays the music that Jong-soo has composed. Jin-soo got out of the car and was wearing a gas mask very carefully. He began to press the button so that poisonous smoke came out from many of the locations that had been examined earlier. Jong-soo runs to attack but is unable to resist the thick poisonous smoke. After that, he also fainted. Jiang goes to an abandoned park. When he looked at the positioning, he saw that Jiangsu was moving at a very fast speed. Now, Jiangsu is also being caught by Jinsu in the car to be transported somewhere. The big man Mr. Kim called his juniors to ask about the whereabouts of the little monster. The junior at this time also followed Jiang into the amusement park. Mr. Kim's name announced to the long-haired junior. That difficult child and the one-eyed man were separated. We will keep this secret and not inform our superiors. Jiang goes inside and wakes up a person named Gieden. And this person possessed a tall body and a monstrous face. The girl called for this name to leave this stinky cave to go to a better place. And get rid of all those who dare to take advantage of our power. Jiangsu opens his eyes and wakes up to see that the old man has taken his eye, preparing to become the next work of the name Jinsuk. Jiangsu asks this guy not to harm artist Z and other innocent people anymore. But this guy said that in the eyes of the world, you and I are both monsters. We are two opposite extremes like light and darkness, men and women, but if they are linked, it will become a very perfect thing. Do you still want to link up with me? By putting my brain into your body and we will become one. After that, he began to push artist Z to conduct the experiment. Jiangsu also apologized for causing this artist to be dismissed. I'm the lone guitar man. After that, Jinsuk exchanged little fingers between the two. It is true that Jiangsu's little finger can be attached to the hand of artist Z. And Jiangsu's special body can also be linked to the finger of the artist Z. The Jinsuk said that he would release Z if you agreed to join forces with me to become an individual. Otherwise, he will become my next work. Jiangsu asks to release artist Z immediately, so Jinsuk also beats the unconscious boy to carry out the plan. Now, Zhirang is confident in finding the base of the organ trafficking gang. But he brought his strange friend with him. A name that called this person a monster made him extremely indignant. He began to use his extraordinary strength to deal with the bearheads one by one. And Zhirang also has a hand to speed up the rage. When Tan Cha Choi was about to go on duty, he suffered from nosebleeds due to a recurrence of the disease. The park police officer also received a phone call that found the address of the building, of photo number 28 in the camera just taken at the dam. Jiangsu wakes up and finds himself in a cold room. Artist Z is also in front of his body that is frozen. Artist Z also apologized for using his song on his own. And in his way, he caught the other perpetrator. After that, he also closed his eyes. Jiangsu burst into tears and said that his remix was really wonderful. I really wanted to say thank you to him. The resentment makes Jiangsu's body stronger. The boy detached his arms to escape from the worm that was holding him captive. After that, used the healing ability to regain the integrity of the body. But the room was now locked very tightly. Zhirang led his friend to this place, but asked him to rest a little because he has used too much energy. So this friend also sat on the ground to sleep. After that, Jiangsu also heard the call of Zhirang outside, but she was attacked by Tengjinsup. He also knew that this girl was also a difficult one, so he immediately asked about this girl's ability to move for the next generation. Zhirang asked if you wanted to take Jiangsu's body and give birth to me, or do you want to take my body and have a child with Jiangsu? But I'm afraid you have to die here right now. The two began to rush into a heated fight with each other and were also at odds with each other. Tengjinsup threw the roast Z underneath, and then he went down to this place as well. At this time, the car of the two policemen also arrived. So Tengjinsup immediately went upstairs to let the wind howl. Zhirang then also unlocks the gate for Jiangsu. Z said to ask Jiangsu to go and deal with that guy. Things don't end here yet, but the future must be changed. Mr. Tan Cha Choi entered the building and saw a very strange man who was about to attack him, so he immediately opened fire, causing him to fall backwards. The policeman rushed to rescue his friend. When he was coldly defeated by Tengjinsup, he also picked up the poor policeman's gun. The wounds on the strange man's body began to heal, and he also attacked the Cha Choi. Roasted Z appears and announces that he will remove the Cha Choi bar because he already knows too much. Mr. Ching Cha also realizes that this girl once broke into Tengjinsupp's company to rescue Jiangsu. It seems that you are also a difficult person, right? I thought I had witnessed most of the worst things in the world. But it seems that someone has to endure even worse things. I also can't imagine how difficult life for her and Jiangsu has been. Jiangsu went to find Tengjinsup and declared, I will absolutely not give my body to you. He began to hum the verses of the song that Jiangsu had composed. so that the guy can see two images at the same time with two eyes that are opposite each other. Jiangsu ran over and was shot repeatedly by Tengjinsup. But the boy quickly recovered his body. Then he was shot in the other eye. When the gun ran out of ammo, Jiangsu grabbed Tengjinsup and began to recover his newly damaged eye. Then began the process of reclaiming his stolen eye. Jiangsu was going to take action with a close guy like this. Then the father ran over and stopped this boy. If you kill him, I will have to prosecute you. And he would also become a murderer just like him. Now let me handle it here, you leave here right away. Someone is waiting for you, the task force will finish coming in here soon. At that time, I couldn't protect you anymore. Suddenly, Zhejiang announces that they're coming. Then he pulled Jiangsu outside and ran outside. Now Tengjinsu's lost eyes reacted. And the fingers of artist Z are also moving. Zhejiang leads Jiangsu to the rooftop of the house. There were a lot of helicopters coming. And perhaps these are the people in Zhejiang's Hornet lineage. Or maybe people from the Jiangdo Pharmaceutical Company, trying to get back the products of the research results I have created, promises a new fascinating story that will continue to take place.